Hello, hello. Stream is going to be double short today. Short because, well, I can't play super late, but also short because the game identified itself as a background process for a solid 30 plus minutes. Mildly annoying. So issue is fixed and I should be able to resume playing, although you'll probably see me spend quite a lot of time in the settings to get everything back the way it was supposed to be. Oh well. Okay, give me a second. Nope. That said, today's stream is going to be on tinkering with this station, upgrading it, and making it ready for the next event. Since the game is currently just seemingly going nowhere, it seems that there's a high likelihood that I'm probably going to have to start looking for other games to stream, which is a bummer. But that said, what I'm probably going to be doing is I'm going to be making this station public. I'm going to be showing the blueprint. I don't know if I can share the blueprint directly. There's no such things as like autosaves and whatnot with Starbase stations. But I'll make it editable for people that I know I can trust, and I'll share I'll make them make a copy of the station, just to allow other people to organize events and whatnot and have fun should they want to do so. That said, there's most certainly going to be another event, although it's going to be next stream, which should be in 2 weeks ish. Still needs a bit of planning, but should be done there. That's kind of it for the announcements. I mean, there's no need to beat around the bush. I have taken quite a lot of notes as to what I'm supposed to be doing. My to-do list from the previous siege. Actually, no, not that much. Not that many. Not that many notes, but quite a lot of work. So this station broke. It got duplicated. So I need to abandon it and build another one. Yikes, the game is battling. Hello. Oh shit. Yep. No, it's the same notes. I took them right after the end of the previous siege. I wanted to see what were the areas of improvements. Zombie, would you like a copy of this station if you want to be able to use it? I think I'm going to start handing this copies of the station over to allow players that would like to use the station to not have to depend on me. The station is broken AF. Wow. Sure. So I'm just going to finish tweaking the station. I'm going to create a new one. And I'm going to let whoever wants to have a copy of it just being able to do so. As I said, the intent is to allow whoever wants to be able to have events without depending on me being able to do so. Station 79. Yee-hee. Station designer. Damn it. Yeah, the station editor is painful. That's the best way I can put it. Yo. The only thing that's a big pity with this station is that it's not quote unquote live compatible, as in it exceeds the budgets in quite a few areas. No, all I'm going to have to do is grant you edit rights, and that is literally it. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to grant you the possibility of editing the station. And in turn, you'll be able to hop into the station designer, the way I did, escape station designer, and then create like save as. I'd recommend you do that in about an hour and a half or 2 hours because the station needs a little bit of love. Oh, I don't like that music. Luke. But yeah, in a big max of an hour and a half, it should be done. The issues right now, so there's a few pain points that make the station a little bit too easy for the attackers and not easy enough for the defenders. So the station is a very mature design, but it does have a few areas where it could do with a little bit more love. This is brown, if I recall. Nope. This one? Nope. That one. Oh. Okay. It is clay. So yeah, mostly quality of life stuff for the defenders. Do beware, though, that is important. Having access rights to the edition of a station means that your game, will freeze every 60 seconds for about 1 to 5 seconds. It is super annoying. And means that if ever you want to host a game, it is really important that you're not the one that owns the station. Like you ask someone that doesn't want to partake in an event to have the station, or another possibility is that you very simply use an alt account. That's those freezes. So 60 plus hours of work dealing with those freezes. Which is probably why the only station design that's been around for sieges has been my own. It is literally due to that. It is such a pain to edit. The rewards are great, though. I mean, when you see that everyone is having fun with what you created, it's an amazing sensation. But it does require putting through with quite a lot before being able to reap the rewards. So yeah, just be aware of that very important detail. It is not going to be it is not going to be this station specifically causing you this. It's going to be any station that will cause that. Okay, that is way more visible. Oh. No. Whatever. I'll just use the dark one. Oh yeah, and there's no modules. There's no such thing as a module here. So when you see these towers, you won't be able to use them on any other station unless you start a new design using this one as a base. In which case you will be able to use it. this is bare bones SSE. Like, obviously, if you are familiar with the SSE doing its shenanigans, a lot of these will not come as a surprise. But do expect a few very unusual issues. The freezes are one of them. If ever you try to copy or paste a big amount of objects, it is going to be so painfully slow. Yeah, these colors are in reaction to the defenders telling me that the coordination of the defenses were not easy. Just so it's possible to say, hey, I'm at this hangar or I'm at that tower, and actually give the color. Oh, I'm not on Discord. Whoops. I did all of that, and it's ugly AS. What a waste of time. But I don't have anything better to have colors to distinguish the towers from in and out. Hello, Viga. These colors are an eyesore. A bit bitter if I fully commit to it, but not really a fan of the end result. So, the reason I'm doing it Vega is because the colors were simply not obvious enough for the defenders, and it caused a lot of communication issues. So I had too many consecutive times an approach that was too light. And this time I'm having the exact opposite approach of having quite the heavy approach. And that's what I did. I did a lot of... No, I'm not painting the entire tower, just the top section. Like, that is it. The tower's not getting painted any more than that. Oh. And that. Already added more color on the others. And this one's about to turn yellow. Adrian made some amazing miniatures in the game, if I recall, the ones that were shown at the EOSCons. I don't know. You should be able to import one as needed, or if you don't have any at hand, you can very simply ask Colt. I think he'll be very happy to give you one. There is going to be issues with contrast vigor for sure. My goal here is not to solve the in-game contrast values, but more to try and make it better, for lack of better words. The issues are not going to disappear. I'm just trying to reduce them. Center area. The center area obliterates the budget, and that is because each and every single decal is counted as one object per block it is on. So if you selected all of the decals simultaneously and you removed them all, the station would almost, not quite, but almost get back into budget. Right now it is almost, I think, 80% over budget, which is just mind-boggling. But the budgets are so tight for the defenders, it's really difficult to respect them. Fair, they go fair. There's already like a little bit of colors inside, not much, just enough. Whoops. Also, I think hospitals are among the worst examples when it comes to what something looks like. Yeah, I'll be blunt, I really prefer it when it's entirely white, but I think this is a case where being practical is very important. Well, that's really good, because I've seen way too many hospitals that just look horrendous. It's like there was no budget allocated to make it even look remotely pleasant to look at. None. The cubes are really small, Vega. So it's a not issue. As a matter of fact, probably going to have to find the station since it's now moved at least 3 kilometers. Is that the new one? Is this the new one? So many questions, so little answers. I suppose it's this one? Looks like it. Will you look at that? That was one of my best landings ever. Okay, let's look at the green one, for example. See, this is like, if I show you the budget, you will see the, oh, I'm actually, no, how much is that? 30 or 40% above the limit. But if you were to remove all of the decals at once, you would probably send the station right back into budget. Vega, I can point a huge arrow at something and say, look there, I will still have 50% of the defenders asking me where to look at. That's experience telling. I'm sure there's a better way of saying it, but I've got colors, I've got text, I've got arrows, and still, I have people asking me what to do, what to look like. Comes a moment where I do what I can, but so even if I start flipping around, finding the exit is still really easy. It is. It never is. Ever. Which is why I always recommend the defenders familiarize themselves with the station before starting to defend, but most of them do not do that anyway and come as pure tourists. But Vega, I'm going to make this design available for free for everyone. So if ever you want to take this station and give it your own spin, by all means, please be my guest. I'm going to be quite curious to see what this is going to become. Vega, kinda. But don't forget that this is not an avenue, this is supposed to be a fortress. And the way you approach the constructions and the architectures of both is quite different. Because in one sense you want to keep everyone safe, and in the other you try to give an advantage to one group of population over the other. Yeah. This is a door I do not think anyone has ever seen, although I made it on stream, I used it on stream, I showed it on stream. But this is one of my accidental, really difficult to comprehend things. If you know it's there, it's super obvious. I could. Oh yes, the spawn area was broken AF. Wait, this isn't... This is the previous stream. I cleaned my room recently. I'm wondering if I wasn't too aggressive while doing so. Oh, there you go. Much bigger notes. Way more stuff to do. No, I hadn't realized I still had the previous Siege's notes. It's like, it's weird, I remember writing so much. Oh, right, yes, I have plenty of stuff to do. And first but not least, these hangars needed a top-down way to communicate with one another. A means of going from the top to the bottom as fast and easy as possible. And I have no clue how I'm going to do that. But the problem, Vega, is the budget. This station has always been intended to be quote-unquote live compatible. Which is why it's already over budget. The budget is ridiculously tight for any designer. Even if I removed all of the decals, I suspect I would still have to remove up to 2,000 objects, probably even more, to get everything to fit. That is a good point. Before I do that though, there's a nasty upgrade that I wanted to do. I just need to find the center, which is there. No, this is an anti-ramming barrier. As an attacker, if you come in full speed with a big ship, this will this will be an incredibly unpleasant discovery. Yes. Yes, zombie. Quite literally. Well, first of all, it doesn't need to be big. It can be really thin. Like so. It doesn't need to be like this. Come on, game. Vega, the problem is that even if you destroy these, they are so thin that because it's a station, I mean, even if you miss just a tiny bit of it, just a tiny bit, it would be as if you rammed the entire station. And I'm going to be putting 2 very spaced apart. Okay, let me do that for you. But the game is going to be a pain every single bit of the way. There you go, zombie. Oh, come on. I roughly calculated, by the way, that this station requires up to 10,000 stacks of glass to be fully crafted. Yeah. That is going to be a mean surprise. Okay, I'm going to check that off the to-do list. Colors, already did that. Need top views, watch towers, need colors, hangers, need blade of glass. That I just did. So, these medium hangers were a big source of attacks. So they need like better visibility top down, and they need to enable you to go up and down much easily. Actually, most of my work is around those medium hangers. Hello, slut bitch. What do you define as a mine? A ship? A torpedo with a remote detonator? Like, what are you defining as a mine? Because there's also the question behind it of how much intelligence does your explosive have? Okay, that's the nasty improvement. Colors more visible. Is this already a hollow? So there is already kinda an equivalent, but it's probably not what you have in mind. And those would be the kamikaze ships. There have been a plague in these sieges because on the condition that you have the ability of a fast and reliable respawn, they allow you to do precisely just that. But if you think about something that is static and awaits an ambush for an unsuspecting foe to go within range, I would argue as to no, and that would be because of the game constraints. Because of the lags, because of just the way the game works. I don't think it would work really well. However, in the event where it would work reliably, yeah, I'd scatter a huge amount all around the station, and it would be an absolute plague to get anywhere close to the station without detonating at least one, if not two. So yeah, the idea, awesome. The implementation is, I suspect, almost impossible. Doggo tried turrets. Anything that is not identified as a ship by the game will disappear very quickly. So all of that debris stuff. Yeah. Logically speaking, I think the concept has got a lot of value. Due to game constraints, not so much. Yeah, but if you think about like the sieges made by companies that have like stuff to defend, I strongly suspect that you wouldn't want to allow random players to access at all. Because you'd probably have some secret stuff going on. I mean, I can think of many reasons why you would not want random people to be able to join the defenders' side. Just get them... It's a few seconds, literally seconds. Because the attackers, when they're going to be coming full speed, will probably not even load most of them. However, if it is a ship, that changes a lot. But you get very limited by the amount of ships you can deploy and the amount of time required to deploy them. You'd have to keep everything within the safe zone to prevent players from tinkering with them before the siege starts. And they would have to detonate very easily to prevent anyone from trying to sabotage them. In science fictions, books, movies and whatnot, the way the space landmines are portrayed are tiny torpedoes, autonomous torpedoes in standby. That's what a landmine is. Because due to the vastness of space, you've got absolutely almost no chance of hitting something as small as a landmine, and if it's big enough to be detected, you'll very simply avoid it. You don't have a ground per se where you can very simply bury your anti-ship mine. So what I see in science fiction stuff is that the landmines have detection and self-propulsion capacities, and they use that to get close to the target themselves. So they become a much bigger area of denial tool. Now, did I select everything correctly, or am I going to get annoyed? Woo, this is going to be a pain. Like, there's nothing in between. Yeah, reconstruction machine ships proved to be a very effective tools. So discardable transport ships with a torpedo in the nose. So not a kamikaze, as in you get close, you shoot your torps, one, sometimes two. It blows holes in the protective envelope and then you infiltrate. That has proven to be very reliable. not in space. And not if they're just the size of a torpedo. Like literally a Starbase torpedo. By the time you see them, they've also seen you, and at which point you are being engaged. Yeah, I think I'm going to abandon the idea of connecting the top and the bottom easily. Because it is proving to be way too much of a bother. Unless... Oh, what a pain. You will probably see it. You will. Other players will probably not. That is the key difference. I recommend that if you wanted to give it a good test, test it with someone, just not with just yourself. Because the game behaves really differently. Do as you wish. No, they don't collide nor interact with it at all. It works in a very weird way. So, what happened is that Kenobi, he actually even recorded it because he got bored. So he could kill us. We couldn't even see him. So what he was using is torpedo high explosive core. So the high explosive part of the torpedo. And he was just flinging them left and right after placing a high explosive remote explosive on them. So he'd throw them and then he'd detonate them after a few seconds. The explosions we saw, those killed us, but we couldn't see him and we couldn't see what he was placing. So even when he was throwing all of his remote explosives everywhere, we couldn't see anything, and then we'd still get killed by the explosions. It was a little bit more than mildly inconveniencing. It was absolutely fantastic, and he got, well, annoyed, because he wanted to play, and playing doesn't always resolve shooting everything on easy mode, you know, like, it's fun 5 minutes. Although I do remember one siege where someone had so much fun doing that, specifically, that all of the defenders almost quit, because he had a pickaxe, and he was so happy he was pickaxing 10, 20, 30, 40 players, and he was like, I'm invincible, this is so good, you should all try it, and not thinking for one single second that maybe, just maybe, We couldn't see him. Maybe. That was really annoying. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely no doubt about that in my mind. Well, I remember a very old YouTube video of a tour called the Medusa Eye. It was such a funny thing to look at. If ever it looked at you, you would freeze. Hence the name Medusa Eye. The way it worked was like super simple. The game really battled with non-ASCII characters. And if ever it tried to look at one, it would be horribly unoptimized. And, well, I mean, yeah, technically it was an exploit. They don't work. They've been patched a long time ago. And I'm talking about something that was like the really early days of Starbase. Nope. How do I do it? I need to remove you. Remove you. Remove you. Perfect. What I almost did do though, but I realized it would be too difficult to do, is that I realized that some fighters, not all of them, but some fighters, would be incredibly vulnerable to chaff. Chaff is when you start, normally it would be like aluminum foil or something that would disrupt radars to make it harder for foes to lock onto you with a missile. But the way you would maybe use chaff in Starbase is that you would release a huge amount of very small objects that would in turn have the possibility of colliding with the pilot, instantly kicking him out of his chair. with the error saying no more space, no place to sit. That is something I almost designed. The condition, there is one, is if you can't go lock to them, and your enemy also loaded that your ship. So they're part of your ship, so he loads whatever the hell that is. They would disappear, but only after both of you and whoever loaded your ship no longer sees your ship. So you would still have a few seconds where they are very much there and ready to cause mayhem. Would not work on any ship that has a closed cockpit, though. Just... come on, game. Okay, that does somewhat achieve what I wanted to do. It would start to act very strangely because Starbase will load stuff or not depending on if it identifies it as being a ship or a ship debris. Ship debris does stay loaded around a ship on the condition that it remains next to it. So if ever you fly and your ship starts losing pieces left and right, those pieces would disappear very quickly. And if you lay a mine, that would count. It would be counted as ship debris, and as such, it would disappear. There's an exception. If your ship stays static, and you scatter a cloud of debris, that's when you see those ships, those broken ships in the belt or on the surface of a planet. They have that cloud of debris. But you won't see, you shouldn't see at least, debris that is just on its own flying somewhere. Okay, but now you are in half exploit area, which is to say that there's a very thin line between a feature and an exploit on that topic. Because if your landmine has just one beam, one hard point, and one maneuver thruster, it will count as a ship. Because that is, from Starbase's point of view, a ship. Now, the problems arise when those things that identify as a ship start detaching from your ship. Your game, then... I think one beam is enough. Maybe three. I think you're right, Zombie. 3 beams, but it's really small. The problems arise when pieces of your ship that have those start detaching. At that point, your game needs to take a decision and say, that's the ship, that's debris. Frozen Mind, however, doesn't seem to have made that correctly. So what that happens is that game clients, your game and my game, will sometimes disagree on that. It will say that's debris and that's the ship. And in those specific instances, what is going to happen is that you end up with endos that fly in invisible ships and shoot magical weapons, arguably, because they have a ship. But your game disagrees and says, no, there is no ship. There's only a debris, and the ship that you think you're piloting is in fact just those 3 thrusters far over there. It's such a pain to deal with that problem. Yes, so the reason why that is really annoying is because it kind of goes, it prevents anyone from designing something that I really enjoy called a parasitic fighter. Parasitic Fighter is Kenobi actually designed quite a lot of them himself. But in the simplest of terms, a parasitic fighter is a fighter that you need to detach by breaking a beam, for example. That makes it qualify as a parasitic fighter. And what's really a bummer is that due to that really weird quirk that I've just described, parasitic fighters can't truly work, because they're going to be competing with the mothership to determine who is in fact a ship and who is debris. I think Starbase did it with like a good intention of not having too much data to store on their server, which is a real problem for games such as Space Engineers. Space Engineers has big problems with clouds of debris flying all over the place. Whenever you want to manage a Space Engineers server, it is one of the very first topics that you need to address. How do you deal with the debris? Frozen by decided. If it's a debris and it's not a ship, and it's not next to a ship, then it disappears. That's how they decided that they would deal with that specific problem. And yeah, it's a bummer, because the very topic of parasitic fighters is quite fun. Oh, I need to delete that too. How did I do it here? What do you mean, what are the zone borders? You mean this? The green zone? You shouldn't be able to go here as an invader. This is off limits. This is good. This is off limits. And if you want to be there, there's quite a few spots very interested in you. Yes, on purpose. That gave us a huge advantage as defenders multiple times. Is this a cube? This is a cube. Yeah, the hangars got a huge amount of attention from the attackers. There were quite a few of them. Doggo had some automated turret systems going on, but they were terrifying, absolutely terrifying for anyone involved, attackers, defenders alike. No one wanted to get close of these things. And they also had a few blind spots, sadly, which ended up being exploited by the attackers to their advantage. But yeah, that was fun. Apart from that, no, there hasn't been that much unconventional stuff, but I think it's very simply because players didn't quite yet have the possibility of experimenting, because the station design is a massive pain to do. So the unconventional stuff is technically absolutely everything, because there's no meta, there's no nothing going on. Oops. So this truly is like the Wild West when it comes to designs. There's no such thing as a meta. What I'm trying to define as a meta would very easily become a non-meta within a few sieges with someone very dead set focus on attacking these stations. Plus the cost is horrendous. I'd argue and say that designing a proper defense is considerably harder than a capital ship. What I like to use as a good metric to know if your station is good at defense is what is your ratio of defenders to attackers required. I'll give you an example. Hello, Colt. If you need more than one defender per attacker, that means your station design was particularly bad. It means that defending your station is literally harder than attacking the enemy cap ship. My first designs were like that. No advantage whatsoever for the defenders. And now I think, kinda, that you need 1.2, maybe 1.3 attackers per defender. But it is really difficult to design proper stations for defense, just because of how easy it is to blow holes in absolutely everything. Yeah, but 1, 2, 3 would be an amazing defense, and I'm nowhere near close to it. I'd like to, but I'm very, very far from it. Yes, that is the good strat. There's a lot of things. Defenders could technically do the exact same thing. So it really it boils down to how many endos can you have in the area and what gives them the biggest advantage. My previous tower designs were advantages to the attackers. They were really poorly designed. The concept was good, the implementation was not. Because whenever you took a floor, it would be more advantageous to just sit and wait on the floor than to go and get the defenders. Like, having the defenders come to you was advantageous. Whereas in this design, you can see everything that is above you, and you can't see anything that is below me. Actually got Zombie Mouse, I killed him, I confirmed it was Zombie Mouse by looking at his ender box. I got him in the stairwell of one of the 4 towers precisely due to that. I saw him run down, and I basically waited for him, because I knew he was coming. So the very moment he turned the corner, he was going down the stairs, which, by the way, are also a massive pain to go down, because the angle makes your endo fly, fall, so just going down these things is a pain, whereas you can go up super fast. So when he turned the corner, I was waiting for him, and I had like an entire 1.5 advantage on him. As in, like, I could start shooting the very moment he turned the corner, whereas he needed to understand what was going on first. When the attackers understood that, they started trying to blow the tower in from the inside, which proved difficult because of just how dense the damn thing is. There are so many layers. Once again, on purpose. But defense in general is like a chain, and the chain only has a resistance that amounts to the resistance of its weakest link. So when the attackers found out that these towers were not cool to attack, they started focusing on the hangars, because the hangars were way easier to attack. and I'm going to fix the hangars. But on the next siege, I can be pretty much certain that they're going to figure out, oh, you know what, these hangars are not so fun to attack, let us attack something else. And then I'm going to have to shuffle my attention on the rest. So there's quite a lot of weaknesses I'm most definitely not aware of, because they just didn't have the opportunity to show themselves, because the attackers were focusing on weak links. So yeah, today's a lot of fixing on these. Let me check if everything is done correctly. I'm going to have to check all 8 of them. Yeah, because one problem I had is that an attacker would be visible here, then he'd very simply get out, run, and go on the other side on the top. And that would prevent me as a defender from being able to counteract. Because we very simply did not have enough defenders to cover everything. This station has got very few dead angles. As a matter of fact, any single point on the station has got multiple areas that can attack you. The problem is that if you don't have enough defenders, and if it's just not fun to sit and wait at some place, well, you just don't man the position, and it's normal. Oh, no, anything does damage. Anything does damage to a station. Stations are made of Valkite. So arguably, the glass is considerably stronger. Having glass, due to that simple fact, is a very good strategy because of how much resistance you are adding to the station. But this is super fragile. The only thing you're battled to do is endo weapons will have a bit of a hard time to go through, but they will go through eventually. Next, I needed a means. So yes. So the first siege I did, the station was indestructible. All of the other sieges is because they hadn't done that safe zone mechanism correctly, and all of the areas were safe zone, so nothing was destructible. Same thing with the capital ship. Thank goodness, because the station was really poorly designed, because I had absolutely no idea of what I was doing. Neither did anyone else, as a matter of fact. So started from absolutely nothing. Cutting towards and seem to do first siege or the next ones. I think you can. I haven't tested it thoroughly, but I do think you can. Oh yeah, and these things need to change too. Okay, first one, nothing worked. The other ones, I don't know, possibly. I don't even know if it's intentional or not. Maybe it's not. I can't tell. Comment ça va, Colt?
Ça va.
Je suis en train de rendre la station encore plus chiante à l'attaque. Torpedoes. Simple as that. Torpedoes, seconded by lasers, have got a good perforation capacity. Piercing capacity, sorry. So if ever you see someone hiding behind something, lasers are the best. And third would be autocannons if you see endos running around. In which case, spray spray and beret kind of thing is a very good approach. Anything else could be used, but I don't think it's going to be as effective. Plasma's impressive. I've seen, if you want to distract people, Plasma's amazing. It does a huge amount of noise and visual effects. It's kind of the equivalent of a flashbang. Rail cannons are completely overpowered. I mean, to the point where they're not useful. Because everything is made of Valkite. The rest goes through anyway, so why bother with a railgun? Yep, I mean, there's not that many weapons to begin with. No, because of that ship debris problem. And also due to the difficulty of just having a ship with tripods. So the best approach is to in fact have a ship design that incorporates tripods on a rotating platform. Those would be really good, but then they'd have to navigate this, and I'm not kidding. This is the deadliest area on the entire station. One wrong move, and you're smashing into the side of the station. And your whole ship is blown to pieces. There is no second chance. I'd like to, but as far as I'm aware, no, you can't put... I mean, you couldn't put a tripod down, but tripods shoot very slowly. And another problem if you don't have like power being supplied to them, and a problem that very quickly became apparent in all of the sieges, is that the sieges are battles of mobility. They're not static. If you stay still for just 10 seconds, you're going to get shot. Because there's snipers everywhere, because there's so many angles to cover, so you end up being killed by people that you can't see. And I'm not even talking about the Shadow Realm here, just regular old gameplay will be enough to be your demise. I need to figure something out here. Yep, that sums it up nicely. But there's nothing I can do about that. I only have one material to use, and it's these cubes. This is supposed to be a wall, but it's 4 cubes, and it's counted as 4 objects, which just makes it easier to use in the designer. But all of these are hollow. So just use a pickaxe, a grenade launcher, hide in it and go AFK, and it's going to be a massive pain for the defenders. As I said, the game as of now massively advantages the attackers. The fact that I could even get a ratio of like 1.2 attackers per defender is awesome. But I mean, this kind of like fortress should be more than that. Plus, there's also the issue of the areas being way too easy to capture. They're so big. It's like it's all of this. If you stand just here, not that it would be a good idea, but if you stand just here, you can capture 3 areas at once and wait for the core area. So the reason why it became a battle of mobility is that players would very simply start running on the, well, kind of where my camera is. So what would happen is that very early in the battles. Like, they kind of figured out what worked and what didn't. So it just started getting faster and faster paced. Because the defenses heavily advantage the defenders, what they did is that they simply started running around here. So just being here, I'm capturing the hangar. But if I see there's too many defenders, I'll very simply just run over here. And now I'm capturing this tower. And meanwhile, the defenders are just running all over the place, trying to figure out what's going on. I see there's too many players, let me just capture this area. Now I am. The core area would prevent you from doing like super smooth transitions, but it would still be fairly easy to do. Yeah, these were supposed to be manned by defenders. Turns out the attackers absolutely love these things, so I have to get rid of them. Which is a bummer, but I suppose it's what happens when you don't have enough defenders. You end up with an area that starts to advantage the attackers. What would be better, but it's not the case, is if the capture areas were smaller. It would really force the enemies from going towards the area. So my way of countering most of it, and actually did work, is that the core area is the center one, and all of the capturable areas are immediately adjacent to it. Which means that it doesn't matter how much you run on the outside, by being inside I can access all of the interesting areas. They're literally neighbors. Just checking if everything is as accessible as I hope it is. That works well. Next, I need some stuff to allow the defenders inside to see what is going on top. A mini bunker, I suppose? was thinking that I don't know what to design that wouldn't prevent the attackers from just using run rocket and get inside, but I mean, it's already what they're doing anyway. Exactly, zombie. Exactly. But what I think I'm going to do though is that I'm purposely not going to make it any easier than it needs to be for the attackers, and purposely put them a little bit at the back. So still really easy to access. Whoops. So the core area is the Endos can still die, but it remains indestructible until until the attackers are able to get to the have captured all of the other areas. And I do not know how a piece that is in between two like that is going to behave. What I think I'm going to do instead... So how about I take this and put it one... Oh, those freezes. No, it's slipping like crazy. Let me just... This grants me a bit more margin for my shenanigans. What are you call? Oh no. There's as I said, like the designer, the station designer lacks many of the very basic tools you got used to in the ship designer. This is all I've got. There is a Vertex snapper. It's just that I've got no choice as to how and when I use it. So there it is, use it, done. That's why I was saying that I'm not that surprised that I was the only one designing the stations. It's because it's genuinely such a pain to design them in the first place. in between the lack of features, the bugs, and the freezes, I think you will grow a strong distaste for them real fast. For it real fast. Mm, 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 mm. Come on. That's some of the bugs I was actually mentioning. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It gets even more annoying when you get the combo of the freezes and the game just not wanting to compute what you're trying to do. So you move something, it snaps right back. Move, snap, and just like this game of childish back and forth that can get really frustrating. No, that's a network error. I don't like how boxy it looks, but I also don't think there's much I can do about it. Not if I want to keep a compact form factor. Okay, let's test it. So the very important part of these things is that they should be indestructible. At least until the core area gets compromised. At which point they are not going to be indestructible. Oh, come on. Yes, I very much agree with that statement. Okay, I really like the outside access. Anyway, as you said, tends to get a very well ventilated as the siege progresses anyway. Okay, I'm going to make them slightly easier to get in and out of. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. Better. Windows. There you go. Personal little greenhouses. Perfect. No doubt that the attackers will find something entertaining to do with them. Sorry. It makes a face. Oh boy. I think I'm getting tired. When that kind of shit starts to entertain you, it's that it's soon time to get to bed. There you go. And I'm also simultaneously going to be putting a few of these one game. Here. Because I do know for a fact that this area is very much enjoyed by the attackers. Do I have triangles? Triangles. Slanted. It's odd, I don't recall seeing any triangles in the windows. Oh, there is. Okay, cool. Me play! Okay. So, hangers need top view, yes. Hangers need to be connected, yes. I need to do the watchtowers, towers need more color, I did that. Medium hangers should not have a super... What? Medium hangers should not... What? Oh, this, yes. Medium hanger bunkers should not get a clear view of the spawn. Oh, okay. Like I transformed them into like super secret outposts or something. What the hell? Come on, thank you. Now, what I'm pretty certain is going to happen is that with all of these improvements on the medium bunkers, unless I devaluated the value... Oh shit, yes. Actually, I do think I did on the other one. Unless I devalued the defensive capacity of the medium hangars, let's say I increased it, which I hope is going to be the case, then what is most definitely going to happen is that the attackers are very simply going to focus on other aspects of the station. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. Those are correctly placed, just that one that was not. And voila! With this, the medium hangers should be a considerably bigger pain than previously to attack. I'm still going to run a little check with my ender to see if everything is as intended. But if it is, then I increased the defensive capacity of the station. Okay, I'm quite curious to see how they are going to fare in the siege. No doubt that the attackers are going to find a very creative way of obliterating these defenses. In the meantime, though, I do think that this should improve the overall quality of the design. Okay, I think I'm going to stop the stream here. Short stream, as the title said. Very simply, because I need to pack my bags for tomorrow, for the Christmas holidays, which is something that I'm also going to wish you all a very, very happy Christmas. what I'm going to be doing is, before I leave, there's going to be a next siege that's going to be planned. Not the coming Sunday, but the one after, in 14 days. 13 or 14 days. It's going to be either Saturday or Sunday. I'm going to try and plan one siege. It is going to be after that siege that I'm going to be sharing the blueprint of this station with whoever wants it. Just be around, partake at the siege, or just be around the end of the siege. I just need to ping Nick to see what are the times that suit him the best. See where we can expect to have the most players, and then just get the ball rolling. So yeah, I wish you a good night, a good day, depending on where you are, but in any case, I wish you all a very happy holiday. Just waiting for it to save. Take your time. The station is getting a bit massive when it's like over 20 plus megabytes of data. I don't think a ship has ever exceeded I think ships are kilobytes, not megabytes. There's a huge difference. There you go. Guys, thanks a lot for watching the stream, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.